Jennifer. My name is Nye McGee with EURweb.com. Thank you for giving me your time today to speak about Wonder Pets in the City. And I know the new season will be kicking off here soon. So let me kick things off by asking you, for viewers who are just discovering the show, how would you describe Wonder Pets in the City and what makes it stand out from other kids' series?
Well, that's a great question. Wonder Pets in the City is a spin-off from the original series that was on Nickelodeon. And the idea is that we've got three classroom pets who, at the end of the day, as all the kids are going home, they get a call from an animal that might need help. And then in that moment, they spring into action and they become the Wonder Pets. The music starts. All of the episodes are mini operettas, so they're sung straight through, dialogue and lyrics. And then they zoom off in this series. It's their jet car to save animals in distress. And in this new spinoff, and on the original a little bit, they don't just save animals. We actually get a chance to break the format. So there's an episode where they go into a sumi painting, and the characters are painted in sumi and animated in sumi painting style. There's an episode where they go into a diorama in the classroom, the idea being that maybe the kids were learning about origami that day, and they get a chance to meet and help this little origami bunny. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun new stories for this season two.
And what would you say makes it unique from other kid shows? Just the music and the approach that it's more musical themed and less dialogue?
Yeah, I would say the music definitely sets it apart. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful musical shows out there, but I think what sets our show apart is the fact that we record a live orchestra for every episode. And every story is, as I said, a mini operetta. So we kick off music at the scripting stage. So after we have a locked script, the script is then kicked off with a composer, and the composer sings and speaks all the dialogue and all the lyrics, and we lock it to time. And that's quite unusual. Usually the music will come after, but this allows us to then kick off all of the other departments with a full music track. So the board artists are boarding to the beats of the music, the animators have the music. So it really all sort of speaks to one musical whole. I think another difference is the style. So the original was a photo puppetry style where we photograph real animals and create the characters using those photographs. So it has this sense of like a real photo. It's not CG, it's not computer generated. It started from reality. And so that photo puppetry style was carried through on this new reboot and this new season two.
Now, season two is arriving with 13 episodes. What was the creative process like for expanding the world of Izzy, Zuri, and Tate this time around?
Well, I think we get a chance to, of course, explore their characters, but we meet a lot of other characters. I mean, the fact that they live in this city location was a lot of fun. You know, they live in this little classroom that's sandwiched between two buildings on a busy New York City street. And then what's around them? So right next door, there's this pizza parlor. So they get a chance to meet the pizza kitty who's having trouble making pizza one day. There's this really quirky rat named Pearl that lives in the sewers. There's a theater mouse that's performing on sort of a mouse theater on Broadway. And he's a tree and is wondering if his part is big enough, and Wonder Pets help him understand that there's no small parts. So I think it was fun to explore the city around them. And then it was also fun to, see how we could tell stories on an even bigger, larger scale. There's an episode where they get a call from the coral reef. And at first they're like, we can't hear this coral. And then they realize that the coral reef actually does need help. It's sick, it's dying. And they get there and they realize that the problem is like much bigger than them, that they need to ask for help. They can't do it alone. Their team of three now needs to expand out. to a team of ocean friends that they met along the way.
So speaking of that, as you just noted, the show takes the animals on this globe-trotting adventure, right, to rescue other animals, right? So how did you select the locations and the animals they encounter this season?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, we try not to repeat ourselves too much, but we also thought, it would be fun to sort of revisit some worlds as well, sort of go back and meet some of the characters that we loved in other stories, So there have been a bunch of episodes where they shrink down to bug size and go into this sort of shrunk down, bug world. So we've met this slimy slug and this bee character. So some of those characters returned, but it really was just sort of like, when we're jamming on ideas, it would be fun to, go to the Australian outback. It would be fun to go into Sumier painting. It was like, there really are no limits to where these Wonder Pets could go.
What was it like finding the right voices for Izzy, Zuri, and Tate? And what did these performances bring to the characters?
Um, it was everything. I mean, we really tapped into the community here for casting wise, and so we had a great team of casting agents helping us. But it was super important because we needed to find kids that were authentic and felt like real kids because that's super important to the DNA of the show. Like we didn't want kids that were going to sound too polished and too perfect. They really needed to feel real. And then also the singing. We needed singers because it's sung through. So that sort of balance of like character and authenticity and singing. And I will just say, one of our actors, well, two of our actors were nominated for an Emmy. The voice of Zuri, Vanessa, and the voice of Tate, Christopher. And Tate walked away with the Emmy, so he won just recently the Emmy for outstanding young voice talent.
Right on. How wonderful. Well, nice. Congratulations.
Oh, Christopher!